we're going to get going here as people start to come in. So, got a golf club in my hand today, little golf lesson. No, just kidding. What we're going to work on today, we're going to talk about platform development and tracking. So some of you might have heard this stuff before, but we're really going to talk about just how we're putting our platform together, but more importantly, why we're putting it together that way, and then how we can track the ball. And we're going to do a little drill here where we can learn how to track the ball a little bit better. Okay, so if you play any other sports, when we're talking about platform development, if you watch a lot of bad golfers, okay, some of your dads might play golf. Some of you guys might play golf. And if they slice the ball a lot or they do not swing as fast as they would like, what they probably do is they probably let the club sit in their palms like this, okay? So they have a big, strong grip on it, an overlapping grip, which causes them to not have a lot of wrist mobility. Wrist mobility is super important when you're talking about platform control. We want to have great wrist mobility. So when we grip a golf club, okay, we want the club to sit in our fingers here, okay? We want the club to sit in our fingers. Same thing goes with baseball, all right? I played baseball, played a lot of baseball growing up, okay? You watch someone that's really poor at hitting or has slow bat speed, they put the club, or the bat or the club in golf in their palm, like this, okay? And they grip tight, okay? Tight grip causes you to have really slow wrist mobility. So you're not going to be able to get your wrist through the ball, okay? And you're not going to be able to have a lot of range of motion in your arms when we're putting together our platform. So we want to really worry about our hands and how they're coming together. So one thing we want to be able to do when we do this is we want to make sure when we put our platform together, okay, that we are overlapping our fingers, okay? Okay, so we want to talk, you're going to hear us talk a lot about wrists and hands, okay? So as we put our wrists together, we're going to develop our platform right here, okay? And then when we put our hands together, so you can put your hands out in front of you here, okay? What we can also do is touch our wrists so it looks more like this, all right? And then what we want to do is overlap our fingers, okay? So we're putting our platform together, we want to overlap our fingers. Okay, by overlapping our fingers, what we're able to do is then align our thumbs. Okay, so we want our fingers to be perpendicular to each other. Okay, we don't want parallel. Okay, the other thing we do not want to do, we put our platform together, is we do not want to make a fist. Okay, we do not want to make a fist and wrap our hand around our fist. What that does, okay, it creates too much looseness in the hands, too much hinge in the wrist, okay? And it allows our hands to be out of control there and not allow our platform to develop really nice right here. So what we're doing here, we want to really work on that. Like I said, perpendicular hands, our fingers, and we want to overlap our fingers, okay? We do not want to have our fingers in our palm, okay? But you'll notice a lot of you guys will do as you pass or as you start to put together your platform. Yep. So you can see some video there. Good. Perpendicular fingers. Some of you have worked, Marissa, you've worked on this before. Okay. But here, yep. And we want to make sure that we're very loose. So what happens is there should be space in here. Okay. There should be some air, some space, like a pocket. It shouldn't be a grip on your hand with one hand. Okay. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to create a lot of range of motion and a lot of wrist mobility when we shape our platform. Okay. And that's super important. Okay. In terms of getting good ball control. All right. So that's the first thing when we're talking about putting our platform together is just being able to have good wrist mobility. And one good drill you could do with that, I like to do, or just when you watch really good passers. I watched a video the other day with, outside hitters, and we watched Anaya, who played for me a couple of years ago, and she did a great job of having good platform mobility and platform manipulation. Okay, so a good drill, this is stuff you want to be able to work on with some touch skills, is take a ball, okay, or have someone toss you a ball, and what you really want to do is work on moving the ball here, okay? And what that does, you'd say, wow, that goes against everything I've been taught. Okay. But what happens is you get compromised a lot as a passer. There's a lot of times the ball puts you in situations where you don't like to be in. And what we want to make sure that we can do in those situations is one, okay, good passers, they don't get aced in those situations. The great passers still get great passes. Okay. So being able to get yourself in a bad situation, being able to have good wrist manipulation, and being able to really do a good job of shaping quickly, even though we're shaping our platform with our shoulders, okay, we don't want to use our wrists to create an angle. We do need to have good wrist mobility, okay, in order to make adjustments late in those types of balls. Okay, so that's one thing we want to be able to work on is challenge yourselves here. Perpendicular hands, okay, thumbs, make sure our thumbs are down. And then we want to make sure we're eliminating space within our arms, okay? So one way, if we're having trouble doing that, if you put your platform together and you find that you're like this, where there's a lot of space, we want to make sure that we can roll our shoulders, okay, or roll our shoulders over and create a rounded figure in our back here, which allows us to extend a little bit further. This is going to allow our platform to get longer and allow us to have good wrist mobility outside of it. Okay, so that's a drill we can do, just putting together our platform. Another thing you could do is we could take a broomstick, take a golf club, okay, take something, and we can put that right here underneath our arms. Okay, you can go back and refer to this. But what this is going to do here is this is going to give us a gauge. Okay, now do we want to pass with our arms close to our body? No. Okay, but we get this thing nice right up here in our armpits. Okay, and what we could do is you could really get a gauge of working on your angle and then really working on the rotation of it. Okay, so when we talk about dropping our inside shoulder when we pass, a lot of passers will do this, and it's a tilt. Okay, it's a tilt. So what I want you to do when you get into your passing posture, when we talk about dropping our inside shoulder, we want to make sure we're rotating. Okay, so from this side view, okay, I actually have a logo on the back of my shirt. But if I'm standing here in a side view and I drop my shoulder, I can get rid of the club. But if I drop my shoulder here like this, okay, or this, I don't rotate my core, okay? So now I have a lot of inability to control my back angle, okay? The big thing that I want to do when I'm working on my platform control, is I want to rotate my core, okay? So if I drop my inside shoulder here, I want to rotate my core so that you could read the back of my shirt, okay? And what that's going to do is that's going to allow our back to stay strong, allow our core to stay stabilized, and make us really, really comfortable, okay, and strong so that we don't get a lot of this and then this, okay? We don't want that back to straighten out. We don't want our posture to change. When we create rotation here at the core, okay, it's hard for us to pop up out of those postures, all right? So, good. Next thing we're going to do, another little drill, is we're going to talk about tracking, okay? So when we're tracking the ball, we always want to track the ball with the fastest thing we have on our body is what? Marissa, what's the fastest thing we have?
Our eyes.
Our eyes, correct. Our eyes are the fastest thing we have, okay? So it's my hat backwards, you can see my eyes, there we go. So my eyes react faster than anything, okay? Second fastest thing I have are my hands. In terms of things that I use to pass, your mouths move pretty quickly, especially Nia's. But everyone's mouth moves really quickly. Okay, they can respond to things quickly. But in passing, our eyes, our hands, and then our feet are the thing that tracks the slowest. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're tracking with our eyes, we're tracking with our hands, and we're tracking with our feet. Those of you that have trained with me a lot know. If I see a passer that tracks the ball and has their arms apart for a long period of time and puts them together at the last second, that's telling me that they're unsure of where the ball is going during that track. Okay, if you watch any great passer at any high level, okay, their platform will unite as soon as their eyes are sure they know where the ball is going. What that allows you to do is track the ball to a singular object, which is your platform. Okay, your platform is not this arm and this arm. Your platform is one singular object. Okay, so you may not have these tools at your disposal right now, but you guys can go back and refer to this. But what I'm going to do arts and crafts time here. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to take a bottle. Okay. And some scissors. You guys can make this when you're done. And I'm going to cut off the end of both of these bottles, both sides of the bottle. All right. Very quickly, I can make a tool. All right. So boom, you can see through it. Idea. Good. Good. See through it. Very good. All right. All I'm going to do is get some tape, any kind of tape, and I'm going to pinch one end of this bottle shut. Okay. I'm going to pinch one end of this bottle. All right. Use my teeth. All right. Good. Do the other side. Okay. Good. So now I have a bottle. One end of it's pinched shut. The other end of it's open. Okay. So what we're going to do here with this bottle is I'm going to take this bottle and I'm going to put it here in my platform. Okay. So I have this bottle in my platform and I'm pitching it with my platform. Then you find a friend. I have someone over here. You find a friend. There's a hand waving in there. Sister, brother, mom, dad. And all we're going to do is focus on tracking, okay, a small object into this singular item, okay, which we're talking about our platform. Remember, it's one thing. We want to be specific. We want to track directly to the center of our platform. So I have my pinched end. It's sitting in here. I'm going to have my platform united. My partner's going to be tossing pennies at me, okay? And I'm going to work on angling, okay, and tracking and trying to catch in the bottle these pennies. I got one there. Good. Okay, and all we're doing is shaping, toss higher, make sure we track. Okay, there it is. Almost. There's another one. Okay. Another one. I'm on a roll. Oh, okay. Good. So, you get the point? All right, so what we're doing is just a simple drill. Kind of fun. You can make something, be creative in how you make it. But we're tracking, okay, pennies. These are my kids' pennies for their bubblegum machine I stole. And we're going to track them into a singular object very small. Hand-eye coordination is super key when you want to be good at a very, very, very intricate skill. Like I said, I played baseball growing up, and I grew up in Michigan. And in the winters, there was tons and tons of snow, and you couldn't go outside and practice. So we had a basement underneath our house, and my dad had a bed sheet that he hung up. I had a broomstick, and he had a bucket of pinto beans. And I always tell Kyle this story, tell people this story, and they laugh. And literally all winter, he would chuck pinto beans at me, and I would hit him with a broomstick. By the time baseball season came around in the spring, hitting the ball with a bat was very, very easy, right? So if we could really start to track some small item, whether it's a penny, whether it's a bean, whatever it is, into something, okay, make it out of whatever you want, and just training our eyes, okay? Training our eyes to be very, very, very specific with what we're seeing. And this is a great way to practice because you don't have any result-based thinking when you're doing this. When you go to practice, you're with your teammates, you're always thinking about competing against your teammates or thinking about, did I get this ball to target? What you understand is if you track this properly, the ball's going to go where you want it to go. The ball only knows angles. It does not know anything other than that. And just simple drills. You forget about the basic stuff like this that people get really good at their craft from doing, every little thing. I was watching a documentary the other day on ESPN. So Dirk Nowitzki's famous basketball player, Hall of Fame player from Germany, and they showed his hoop growing up. He didn't have a backboard. It was a pole with a rim sticking out of it. And that's all he learned to shoot on, right? So some of these people that are the best at their craft, they find ways to get better in the most crazy and creative ways, right? I mean, think about this, okay? All it is, a plastic bottle, some pennies, but what we're doing is we're working on tracking, okay, into a singular object, not thinking of our platform as two things, right? We're not going to be tracking here and here, okay? We're not going to do this, okay? That's two different objects moving to the ball, all right? By holding this in our arms, okay? By holding this in our arms, we're tracking to one object. We're actually tracking to the cup. All right? Make sense? Okay. My challenge to those of you in this video, Molly, Paige, Mia, Claudia, Marissa, good. Anyone who else will watch it, flex later. take a video, Instagram, okay, tag Forza One North. I want to see who can catch some pennies in their contraption. Show us how you made it. Do your own instructional video, and have fun with it. All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.